It's great. Yeah, it's great.
So mission accomplished. I mean, you feel pretty good about how everything unfolded?
I do. I think that we got really good work in. I think guys have an understanding of what we're all about here. You know, guys that are new to our program. The vets really hit the ground running this offseason, and I really enjoyed the urgency. You know, it wasn't the most physical, taxing practices probably in the league right now, but that's because of the urgency these guys attack walkthroughs with and the individual drills. And so there's an appreciation from the coaching level, you know, in that aspect of how the guys approached it and proved that they can handle this type of workload. And so we come out of this thing, you know, relatively healthy, and these guys can continue to build on the foundation that they've presented for themselves over these next 5 weeks, so that when training camp hits, they're ready to hit the ground running and be ready to go.
Joe mentioned urgency the other day as well. You mentioned it a couple times. How have you seen the urgency maybe go up a level?
Well, it can mean a lot of different things. It's an urgency to iron out some details and plays. It's an urgency to run from drill to drill and finish drills full speed. So there's a lot of different ways that can be used, but I think it's a very applicable word for just how we want to operate here. You know, there's a sense of urgency to where we're not laid back, and you know, we want to get moving, and we've got high expectations for ourselves.
Joe has also mentioned, Zach, that speed, like everybody has to catch it, you know, get on board and get ready to run full speed. Do you notice that even at this part of off-season?
I do. I think you just watch 11 on 0, offense 11 on 0, defense 11 on 0. You feel that. You feel like this thing is way ahead of we've been in years past, you know, just from especially the first day I got here. So you can see the details. Guys are moving so quickly because they understand. There's such a great understanding. You know, the players here are empowered. They've taken ownership of our schemes, and so that allows them to take the next step. And I, you know, to your point, it's, you know, new players I think feel that, and they feel the need to study up and maximize the reps they get, because they can see guys that have been in these systems for years now at the high level that they're playing, and the high level of understanding that they understand what we're asking them to do, and that's a really good thing for our team.
I believe this is the first time y'all used all 3 days in minicamp. Why kind of decision to have to stretch it out for the full max, and what kind of benefit does that give you?
We really sacrifice days on the front end. You know, so you see teams maybe cancel the mini camp on the back end. We really, you know, started a little later than other teams, so it just felt important to get those 3 days in.
You mentioned the great understanding of schemes and the tempo of practice and all that. You know, I remember going into camp as a rookie of mini camps, and it's like you got to learn how to practice. Like in practice, you know, the coaches tell you that, dude. You could just learn how to practice. How long does it take a drafted college player or somebody coming from another organization to learn what you guys are getting done?
I think walkthrough is a great example of that. A walkthrough is a time in this league, because of how long the season is and how much you want to take care of your guys as the season goes. Like, you got to understand that those reps may be the only reps you get some weeks on a play or a scheme or versus a certain look. And so you have to understand how to be detailed with everything you do. And so, you know, our walkthroughs, for example, we're in huddles. We're going to break the huddle with urgency and get lined up. Everything's full speed before the snap. And I think that's probably new for some guys, you know, and just maximizing your hand placement, your footwork, your alignment, the technique, your communication, all the stuff that's so critical to a real play in a real game that you get a chance to do in the walkthroughs. And I think that's an eye-opening experience maybe for young players to see how critical that is. And it's always good when I'm having to dial guys back. You know, it's usually in the trenches and the walkthroughs. You know, we have to say a couple things to get those guys to dial back, because they don't want to lose a rep. And that's just a good place for a team to be, and it's something that those young guys have to learn quickly, that how critical those walkthroughs are.
What have your conversations been like with Jonah throughout the last few days, and what was it like seeing him back?
Positive, always positive. It's good to have him back.
What do you feel like he can, you know, if he's able to rehab and come back to what he wants, what can he give you on the offensive line at right tackle?
He's a proven player. You know, he's played in a lot of big games for us, a lot of big matchups, understands what we want in our offensive linemen, and you know, he's always done everything he could to meet those expectations.
What did you want to tell the team final message there at the 50 to close camp today?
Just that they've laid the foundation for the season, you know, and we've got the type of team that understands, you know, you got to continue to build off of that and come back ready to go and not take 4 or 5 weeks off, you know, so but it's more just redundancy on my end, just to make sure I said it. But I think our team has an understanding, and in a lot of ways, it's a player-led team, and so they have that same messaging on their own, and that's a positive thing for us.
What did you see from Irv Smith, Zach, that maybe I don't know if surprised you?
Is you don't know how quickly they'll pick up the system. You've done your background work on them coming out of college. They've played in other systems. But I think that's probably one of the things that was an unknown. That's the most impressive thing about Irv is how quickly he's picked everything up and even taken on the nuances. And that's a credit to James Casey. James does a great job with every tight end that's walked in his room, making sure that they maximize their potential. And I think Irv has a willingness to work to get to that point. And so I think just how quickly he has understood not just the scheme, but the nuances in the scheme of playing tight end in this system. And been really impressed with that. And forget about the talent. He's a talented guy. We knew that. That's what we've seen on tape. So that didn't surprise me in any way. But I think just how quickly he's integrated himself has been really impressive.
Jordan Battle, as a rookie, when you talk about picking it up quickly, he seemed to have, from Jump Street, seemed to be right on board, communicating, making calls and everything else. I mean, he looks like a veteran out there, really.
He does. He's done a great job. I think it makes sense to him. Some guys walk in the door and football just makes sense. He's been exposed to a high level of scheme, playing at one of the top high schools in the country, one of the top colleges in the country, and now he's here at the pro level, and I think it just makes sense to him, and he does a great job of exuding the confidence because he's confident in his abilities and what he knows. It's not false. It's not false. Like, you can get some young guys sometimes that talk so people think they know what they're talking about. I think Jordan really understands what we're asking him to do.
The defense this year, a lot of guys back, some new guys on the back, and maybe some more speed. How do you feel about that group as a whole?
The defense as a whole, I feel really good. I just think the chemistry, you see it in the offseason program, you see it at Sam Hubbard's camp, you see it at Logan Wilson's softball game. I mean, it's as tight-knit of a group as you'll ever be around. In all the years I've been around football, and so I think that just speaks to the character in there, the coaching staff we have on that side of the ball. These guys really enjoy being around each other, and that translates to communication on the field, playing for each other. Those are all things that we see from that group, and it's really impressive.
Did the way last season ended with a 10-game winning streak before the AFC Championship game reinforce in your mind that your off-season approach to not beat them up this time of year is the right way to go for a long season?
That's been that way for me for a number of years, and I felt that in LA. That was very similar. That's really the first I was exposed to it that way. An off-season schedule and training camp schedule that's somewhat similar to what we do, and the length that we were able to play during those seasons. You see that here. Knowing that the first 2 years, this is something we always preach to our guys is we're going to do everything at a Super Bowl caliber, things that we believe will get us to the Super Bowl. You may not see the results yet, but the process is what we believe in. And then you saw that in year 3 and 4, and now 5 is what our expectation is. And so it is something that we think is tried and true. We've been in it. It's not something we just think will work. It's something we know will work. And our players understand the intent of everything that we're asking them to do in the offseason, in the training camp, and in the season, from meetings to walkthroughs to practice to when we eat to how long we do things. And they've really bought in and believe in it.
Joe the other day talked about, Burrow talked about the willingness to be at the top of the mountain. How is that kind of maybe, demonstrating the kind of quarterback he's been for y'all in the last few years?
I just think this is a team that's not trying to go through the motions of just being a pro football team. We have high expectations for ourselves. I think everybody around this organization has high expectations for our team, and we want to meet those expectations. And so we know that there's a lot that goes into that. It's not just on paper. We have a really good roster, and we've done really good things in the past. We all understand that's not how it works. You got to continue to stack the chips and build off of that, and training camp will be the next step. Not training camp, how you handle the summer will be the next step, and so we'll see which guys check that box and come in the right way, and I anticipate all of our guys will.
What's preparation like for you as a head coach, in the time between now and training camp? What do you
Try to do as best I can to set my notes so that I can remember everything that we hit as we walked out. It is important to take time for the family and refresh yourself because it's a long season. We're hoping to go from July 21st to February is the ultimate goal, and that's a long time. And so I think it's very important that you take time to yourself and your family and take some downtime. At the same time, I like to stay here in town, and so I'm always able to come over to the stadium and get some small things done over the course of time. But then you come back, usually a week or two before everybody reports, and start doing the scripts and refreshing yourself so that you're caught up and got everything nailed down before the players and the coaches get back in. But there is a time there where you can take some time off and make sure you're fresh for the season.
You know who Joe is. You know he's played really well for a while. But like, how's he looked in camp? How did his OTs and minicamp go?
Really sharp. I think he's got a good recall of some of the adjustments we made as the season went, and some of the adjustments we're continuing to make. So there's been really good feedback and communication that way. I think that's he knows that we're going to continue to empower him, and we want his feedback as we continue to take the next steps as an offense, as a team. And he's taken that role to heart, and he does a really good job giving us, myself, Brian, Pitch, Frank, all the guys that need it, the feedback that we need to be able to continue to take this team to the next level.
Describe your own plan for the next 6 weeks. What's your anticipation for the players? What do you want them to do for this period?
Well, I think for the same reasons I stated, it's important to spend time with your family and do those things. I like to be in shape going into the season as best I can. It's critical that they're in shape coming in, so they can't maybe take the day off that I will take just to lay on the couch and drink coffee. Those guys, I think, do a pretty good job of maintaining, and that's why they're doing what they do and I do what I do. They have the discipline to maintain the God-given gifts that they've been given to make sure that they can play a number of years in the league. And so I try to use my brain as best I can, and so they do a great job of maintaining and being ready to go. And I'll sharpen my pickleball skills and maybe a golf shot or two.
Speaking of gifts, Cheeto just looks, at least to me, my own trainer, looks really good.
Right.
How do you think he's progressing from this?
Yeah, that's one thing I've learned in 5 years. Always reserve injury excitement. I see the same things you guys do. Cheeto's built different. He's done a great job attacking the rehab and doing the things you need to do, coming off the injury he had on Halloween. And so, again, excited to see the continued progress he's making. Won't make any rush of judgment on when I think he'll be back.
How quickly do you think Orlando Brown is, at least he seems blessed?
Instantly. I think those are the things that we quickly learned about him as we signed him and got to know him more. And, he's a guy that kind of feels like he's been here for a lot longer than he has. There's no shyness to him. He's and that's great. That's how you blend into a locker room and get to know people and people can rely on you when you're personable like that, and he is, and so I appreciate that about him. He asks really good questions, football questions. He wants to be the best, and so it's really exciting when you are able to acquire a player like that, and he's got all that intangible stuff and personality stuff. That's all good stuff.
How can an explosive run game kind of transform the offense? Any offense?
Well, explosives in general. It's just whether that's the pass game or the run game, they feed off of each other. Oftentimes explosive runs come because they're worried about the explosive passes. And so that can be scheme-based versus looks. That can be skill-based based on your players making things happen when maybe it's not all there. So we're always striving to find ways to be explosive and preaching that to our guys.
You have some big names up for contract extensions. Guys are in negotiations. Have you thought about how to navigate that if those things don't get done? Handle it differently in the season, when training camp starts, season starts. Do you navigate that? Kind of have those conversations early. Like how do you kind of go about it?
I think that's the territory we're in. We have a lot of great players, and so we're always going to have a lot of great players up for contract extensions. That's just the nature of being a team that's been able to compete at the level we've been able to compete at, and so that's just the territory we're in. And I think, again, we've got high character guys that know how to handle their business on the field and deal with the stuff the agents in the front office deal with off the field. And so, again, we just put our heads down and do the best we can to attack our meetings, maintain our relationship with the players, get our work done on the field, strive to win championships as a team. And when the team is playing well and the players are playing well, that stuff always takes care of itself.
Where do you see the biggest areas of competition? You guys reconvene in July.
I don't think that there's an area where there's not going to be competition, whether it's at the starter level or the backup level. I think this team has really high-end starters and really talented depth. And so I'm excited to see how it shakes out. You don't go into training camp with any foregone conclusion that this is how it's going to play out. I think you just let it play out. And we're going to get plenty of reps and plenty of opportunities for guys to have an opportunity to showcase what they can do and take a spot on the team. And we're very open to all that.
Following up on the depth, that seems really striking just watching these practices.
And that's, it's hard in pro football now to have, you know, I think as strong as a 53-man roster that we could potentially have. I just think it is the way the salary cap's built, and you got to acquire young players and hope that they can step up quickly. And again, some of these guys still have a long ways to go to be the caliber player that we intend on them being. But I've been really excited just watching some of these position groups work, and you kind of think through where the roster's at, the 90-man, and you are really encouraged with top to bottom. There's no players that don't belong here. Like you can oftentimes get on a 90-man roster. It's everyone belongs here and has a role, and I'm excited to watch all these guys compete in training camp.
You mentioned all the players understand the intent.
Go ahead, Dave. I'll come back.
Understand the intent of what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
When did that become something that was unspoken? I mean, you don't even have to get up and explain to them what you're trying to do anymore. It's like it's just a reaction by everybody. When did that take place? Do you think?
It's hard to pinpoint a time. It's something we've always. What's the past tense of strive? Striven? Strived? Strove? Strived. It's always something we always strived for. And there's pieces you can point to. Sam Hubbard, Gio Bernard, Tyler Boyd, guys that kind of that domino effect of guys that we felt you could see it on, and then they knocked over the next domino, maybe the guy in the locker next to him or the guy in the position group next to him, and so it's hard to pinpoint a time when, man, I feel like this has really gone the way we wanted it to. But I think just slowly having that belief that we were doing things the way we wanted to do it, and trying to build the team that way, that it slowly kind of morphs through the locker room, and next thing you know, you're playing for a championship. And so it's really hard to pinpoint a moment, whether that was in May or June or August or December or in a playoff. You really can't say it. You start to feel it overall as a team.
Last night, Chad Johnson said how much he appreciated you welcoming him. What's your favorite part of your relationship with Chad? You feel like you've known him forever, when you're around him. I think anybody. And he's just got such an aura about him. He's always a presence. He's always an entertainer. He's a fun guy to be around. He's been really genuine with me in our interactions together. He really seemingly has a great love for the Bengals and what this place is all about. And I don't want to speak for him, but maybe what it's meant for him. But enjoy having him back around and involved with our players. I try to, I know Chad Johnson because that's kind of a generation I came up in. I am always curious if these guys know Chad Johnson, how good he was, and I hope that they do. But again, we've got players that are born in 2000 at this point, 2001, which is, that's hard for me to believe. But so you don't know what line of players they start to not have an understanding of.
How good was he? I mean, people, they say Chad, and people kind of forget that he was a hell of a wide receiver. What made him good? How good do you think he was?
How explosive he was. You had to count for him at all times, and the explosiveness is what stands out to me. And I think I was the last team to have him in Miami, so I remember seeing that, with Tannehill and David Garrard and Matt Moore throwing to him. And one of my favorite routes I saw him run in person was a bench takeoff, from David Garrard against cover 2. And he did a great job just maintaining his speed, leaning out on the bench route and taking it up, at the near upright, and Garrard let it go. And so that's probably not what you all expected the highlight of Chad Johnson's career to be, but that's when I remember. That was probably the only one I had on tape for like 10 years of a really clean bench takeoff against cover 2. And so he still had it there at the very end of his career.
He's 34.
34, yeah.
Coach,
I'm 40. I don't have that kind of explosive.
We've been talking a lot about competitions. I noticed your new youngest assistant really putting in on the special teams down there today. What was it like to have him here? And I know they like to give you some feedback post-game. Will they give you any feedback in this offseason? Oh,
my son Brooks, he gives plenty of feedback. He's always he's part scout, part coach. And so he's not shy of giving his 2 cents. So it was good to get him out here at practice today. While some of the other siblings slept in, he had a chance to come out here early for the 8:30 a.m. practice and get him around. And again, I've always kind of maintained there's so much sacrifice, coaches' families, scouts' family, everybody in this profession, you all as well, traveling as much as you do. And so there's time sacrifices there, but the positive is they get a chance to interact with pro athletes that not many other kids. I said to him today, how many
how much do you think people would pay to stand behind Joe Burrow and listen to him call a play? And so that's the stuff, don't take that for granted, how fun that is, but cool for me too, to see my son. And you oftentimes wonder why there's so many coaches' kids in the profession. It's because from a young age, that's what they live and breathe, and they hear so much stuff that goes on. And I learned that from my dad. I learned that working for my father-in-law. There's just a high degree of trust there, and so you're given a lot more information and maybe accelerated at a faster opportunity than other people get. And naturally, like me, I always wanted to do what my dad did, and so I was interested in football because he was interested in football. And so you're asking questions that maybe other 12-year-olds aren't asking, and you're exposed to a lot of different things. And I think that's one of the cool things about being a coach's kid.
Speaking of special teams, a lot of the special teams players describe Darren Simmons as being detailed, meticulous. Like those are the words that kind of come up. Going into year 5 with him, how much easier does that make your job on the front end?
Yeah, his standard is very high for his guys. His expectation is that we're going to be the top special teams unit, and when we're not, he's frustrated by that. And so that's the degree of coaching that these guys get. They're going to get the best, most experienced coach in this league telling them how to do things. And the tape that he can show these guys stretches all the way to early 2000s when he's showing examples. So it's not a player thinking, well, he's talking through situations that never existed. Oh, no, it happened in 2009 against Seattle. You know what I mean? So he's got that extensive film library. As you sit in there and watch him talk through the players, they're seeing the best library of stuff, and he does a great job teaching it. And I'm sure he's evolved over his years of honing his techniques and his experience, and I think that's an invaluable asset that we have here in our building.
Zach, considering some of the suspensions that have happened over the last couple of weeks, how much have you guys kind of emphasized and re-emphasized some of the gambling rules to the guys, just making sure they understand what the rules are and when and where they can and can't do certain things?
Constantly. It's something that's obviously come up at the forefront. A lot of it stems from things that happened last season, that are coming to now. And so just educating our guys and really continuing to educate our guys on the do's and don'ts. And to me, it's all don'ts. There's no do's. I don't care if they're legal or not. But I think our guys understand that, and they understand that this is something that's critical to the league. And so we got to do our part to make sure that we protect our team. That's one of our team rules. And being suspended or being out of the game for long term is something that certainly does not protect your career or the team.